Welcome to House of Hollingsworth. I'm Kate. Let me tell you about this next piece I'm going to be doing.
This was originally my nana's dresser, and then it was passed down to my mum, then myself, and then my daughters. But now nobody in my family has room for it, so I'm going to give it a makeover and send it on its way. It has a broken handle and the finish is failing, but otherwise it's still in good, solid condition.
Okay, so I've spent so long thinking about what I want to do to this piece, and I've come up with a plan. The reason I've put so much thought into this piece because of these handles. So I'm not a huge fan of these big sort of bat wing handles, the handles that have a really big base plate. I prefer a much smaller knob or a dainty teardrop. The problem is, in the past, when I've had to take off handles like this, because one of the handles is broken and I can't find the exact replacement, when I remove it, even though I might sand it, it's really hard to remove the discoloration. There'll be an outline around where this handle has been for 100 years. It's really hard to get rid of that. Here's my plan. I'm going to use the Mezzi and Frank Chalk Effects paint to paint a stencil over the drawer fronts. And that way, with the mottled effect of the floral stencil, it won't be super obvious where the outline of the old handle is. And that way I can put a much smaller handle there. And it won't be such a glaringly obvious, there used to be a big batwing handle where that was. So that's my plan. I'm going to do a full stenciled paint job on this using Mezzi and Frank Chalk Effects Furniture paint. And then I'm going to seal the whole lot with their Hardy Clear Coat. I'm thinking of leaving the top of it just as wood, but doing the stencil all over the rest of it. And once I sand it, I think I will probably want it to be the lighter raw colour. So probably I'll do a paint wash using the Chalk Effects paint. I'll do a paint wash to keep it that light oak colour before I seal it. That's my plan. Okay, so these old base plates, I kind of wrecked them getting them off, so I don't think they're salvageable. But I did keep all of the old nails because I often need just one or two extra little old nails. I've finished sanding the drawers and you can still really obviously see the outline, the ghosting of the old handles. So I'm just going to fill the old handle holes and give it another quick sand, and then I can move on to the paint wash and then the stencil. And I'm hoping that once the stenciled pattern goes on, it will provide enough distraction that you won't be able to see the ghosting of the old handles anymore.
So I've just finished the paint wash and let it dry, and the colour is beautiful. So this colour is called Akubra, and it looks off-white, but it's actually quite a dark white. This is the rag I've used to wipe off the paint wash, and you can see it's got a beautiful coffee colour to it. So a coffee coloured paint used as a paint wash turns out this beautiful sort of milky brown colour that's a perfect vintage French oak look. This is my technique for painting by stencil. I like to use a flat-tipped round brush, and I get a good amount of paint on it, and then I offload some of the paint onto a paper towel. I want the tips of the bristles to be almost dry and have the bulk of the paint loaded up at the top of the bristle. This way, when I'm dabbing it on, the paint slowly gets drawn down the bristle and out the end a little at a time. I'm using an inexpensive pack of stencils that I've had for years now. I tape off the part of the stencil that I don't want to use so that the paint only goes where I want it to go. Then I find the center point of the drawer or the panel I'm about to paint, and I work my way from the center outwards. I'm using the same paint as I used before with the paint wash. So this is Messy & Frank's Chalk Effects Furniture Paint in the colour Akubra. Chalk Effects doesn't require a primer, so that makes it perfect for furniture makeovers and especially great for stenciling. So the first drawer, the main part of the stenciling is done, and you can see how the ghosting where the old handles were is not noticeable on this drawer now because we've got a busy pattern happening to distract you from it. So I will probably add some more to this drawer as well around the edge, but I'm going to go ahead and stencil this drawer as well with this same pattern before I move on, in case I worry that I won't get them identical. So I'm going to do this same pattern on this one, and then if I add something else around the border, then I can add it to the border of that one too. This is really sweet, just like this. You could totally just stop there. The ghosting from the old handles is covered. It looks sweet and beautiful, but I'm a more is more kind of person when it comes to stenciling. So I want to see an elaborate border around each of the drawers, and I want stenciling on the legs and probably those little brackets, and then I'm definitely going to do the sides as well. So yes, this is the tip of the iceberg for me. The drawer fronts are done. I'm really, really happy with how these turned out, and now I'm going to focus on the front of the frame. Now you could totally just leave the sides like that with this central motif shining and the rest being the timber. But I feel like I just always feel like more is more. I want to do these two pieces, and I want to fill in these negative spaces here. I just want it to be packed. I soaked the handles in vinegar, but they didn't come up very nice. So now I have just given them a little coat of rub and buff, and like, look how shiny that is now. Here's a reminder of how the dresser looked before, and here's how it looks now. The intricately painted patterns take this basic old dresser to the next level. It's such a delight now. The paint wash gives a milky glow to the timber, and the painted patterns add a layer of complexity and interest while still having a neutral white and wood aesthetic. I think this piece suits so many different design styles now, from boho to Victorian, from maximalist to coastal. I added vintage style botanical draw liners, and I used these antique teardrop handles from my stash. I couldn't be happier with how this dresser turned out, and I think Nana would be proud. A huge thank you to Jillies and Mezzy and Frank. I hope you enjoyed watching this stenciled dresser makeover today. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.